So this is the broadcast tool here, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see in all its glory. You can see the notation. You can also see the engine evaluation next to each move, and also how long they spend.
What I like is you can make your own moves on the board. You can check the alternatives to what the players did. And even for the moves you make, you get the computer evaluation here.
Fantastic.
I think you get it quicker and better as a premium member, such as yours truly. What I also like, there is a chat function. You can exchange things with people from all over the world. If you want to see something else, let's say you're watching a tournament and you want to see all the games at once, no problem displaying. I have no idea how many games there are, like 128 games at the same time. Can do even more. This is a team competition. You click on multi-board.
That's beautiful.
You can see all the 8 games going on at once.
You can see the games and standings, which I...
What we got? I'll click around. Games and standings here.
Yeah. Analysis, if we click on that tab,
Let's click on it.
You can see that it's a great little graphical illustration. The red line is 0, that is the absolute even mark. And if the white bars go up, the further up they go, the bigger the advantage. And the black bars show a black advantage.
Then there is a database, and here we get the alternatives. And if we click on a move in the database, bam! It gets played on the board.
Fantastic. And then the PGN can even be downloaded.
I like that feature.
Yeah.
Whatever tournament or game you're following, you click it and you open it in the program of your choice.
Yeah, and one of the great things I like to see as well is when we get a video from the playing hall. I like to see them in their seats, nervous, you feel the tension, you feel like you're there, don't you?
Chess is really becoming a spectator's internet sport.
Great that we can see that. I also love to see the fact that we can get in some of our friends to join us during the broadcast. And it's all interactive, that's what we love. And
a lot of overview functions there.
A lot of great functions there, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you take advantage of all of them. Let's get back to the commentary.
Keep tweeting us, hashtag C24Live. We love to hear from you. Ask us anything, mainly about Lawrence life, but if you have other questions, they're also welcome.
Also send us anything you like about Jan, hashtag C24Live.
Absolutely.
And queen takes f3. Oh! What is going on? Oh, this is going to be a fortress. I just don't see any hopes at all. This is very easy. Just rook back and forth.
Taking chess to the next level.
Wow. Wow.
Wow, yeah. Nothing else to say. Wow.
Creating the future of the sport. Introducing the Champions Chess Tour. 10 months, 10 tournaments. The world's best players online and on TV.
Hello, everybody. My name is I'm unmuted, so I have no idea what's the problem. Should work now? Yes. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So if everything works, just please confirm that it's working. So another introduction. Ho, ho, ho. Welcome to the Banter Blitz. And time to crush people. So let's not wait any other second. Let's go. So the first game against Mr. Najdorf. I'm pretty sure it's not Mr. Najdorf himself, but we are going to play a lot of d4 today. d4, d5. Okay, let's go for this pseudo-Trompowski stuff, because why not? And I'm going to play 3 minutes, 5 minutes, but 3 minutes preferable. So let me just get into the right mood. Play some attacking chess, if possible. So probably f3, e4 is next, I guess. That's like a standard way of proceeding here. And I already like my position. I'm not sure why I cannot take this. Because, okay, if I play e3, then I kind of spoil my battery, so I want to take this. I want to take this not to win a pawn, but just I don't see any other good move in this position. I could also play e4 probably, but that means that c takes, queen takes, knight e4 is probably allowed. And here my opponent wants to recapture on c5, and d4 is d4 working in any universe here. Knight takes d5. He has queen takes a2. I don't like that. So let's go king b1. I'm probably running into some kind of d4, but then I want to play knight e4. And here I thought I can just take on d5. So yeah, let's do this. Queen takes, and now I expect to see queen b6 or queen b4, after which I wanted to play queen b3. And okay, my opponent definitely has some compensation, but is it going to be enough? Bishop e6 is coming though. Or queen f2 might be annoying in some positions. Maybe let's drop the bishop back to c1, but then, as I've mentioned, bishop e6, and I kind of dislike it. This is already tricky. Yeah, let's go back. I see nothing better. And after bishop e6, I'm going to play queen a3. It looks extremely ugly. Okay, he doesn't go for this, which is surprising. But it is definitely a good move. So let's go e4. I'm low on time already. Now queen b5. Do I force the queen's exchange? Okay, he has queen f2, but it doesn't look right for several reasons. So if I exchange queens here, oh, I'm the happiest man alive. Okay, so this I have to take. Knight b4. Yeah, I thought there's some tactic like this is going to happen, but actually, let me play this move. Then queen takes c2, right? Okay, I have to play this anyway, so there's no point in wasting time. And now king b1. So what's the continuation here? Okay, I'm temporarily a piece up, and I'm not even looking at chat because this position is so tense. So king b1, I threaten to take on c5, so basically I kind of force him to move the queen, and after he moves the queen, I will play something like bishop d3 or knight e2, I don't know. But where does he move the queen, actually? Like to c7? Yeah, I don't believe this is working for him. I think I'm comfortably better here. He should take on c2 with the queen, that's for sure. Taking with the knight was a mistake. Because if he takes with the queen... But wait. Where's the trick? Okay, queen e2, knight a3 takes, queen b6, I have queen b5. So this I take and I have queen b5. Maybe this is what my opponent missed. Okay, so he wants to build a battery on the long diagonal, so let's stop that with bishop b2, and I think that this position is already winning for me. What I want to do here is to play rook c1, because I don't want to exchange rooks, because then he would have some control over the first rank. While here I think that it should be pretty nice. Okay, queen b5, I think, then knight e2. I can take on g7 now and play queen takes b2, queen b2, sorry. And that means that I'm going to be 2 pieces up in this position. 2 pieces for 1 pawn, so shouldn't be a big deal. My opponent tries his best, but then I think I have bishop c3, and if rook a2, I have bishop b2, and now I win the house. So I expect to see rook takes b2 because otherwise I just take everything. This doesn't really matter, I guess, because I have queen b3. Now let's take. Let's play knight e2 next, and I hope to win to convert, and then ask everybody, how is your day? How is life? How is everything? Let's take with the pawn. No nonsense here. Knight f6, I guess. And yeah, okay, he's provoking me to something. Let's say I'm provoked. And I don't win the rook. What was that? Was that? What was that? Okay, this is not going to be the cleanest conversion ever. And I hope I'm going to manage to convert this. So let's take king c2, rook d1. What's going on? No idea. Queen b5. Queen c5, rook d6. What's going on in this world? Queen e7, rook f7, rook f8. Jesus, I'm too old for this. I'm too old for this, I have to admit. And now let me see what happened on the chat, because I honestly say I didn't read as a piece of that. So like 30 seconds break, you know, let my heart rate go back to normal. So basically, the challenges that I'm going to be taking are firstly from premium members, and secondly, rating doesn't matter to me. I play with people who challenged me first. So I take the challenges from the oldest to the newest. So if you just challenged me like 1 minute ago, then you have to wait. Now I'm going to play against Mr. Zevich, which I'm pretty sure I played in one of the latest Banter Blitz sessions. Good positional play chess books. Positional. I don't know how to play positional, but maybe I can recommend some books. So 100, what was the title? 100 middle games? No, Understanding Chess Middle Games by John Nunn, that's for sure. And why do you play Accelerated Dragon against me? An opening that I played my whole life, I love it, and you are doing this to me. You shouldn't be allowed to do that. Let me play the Maroczy bind. Knight b3, I guess, is the move here. And now queen d2, because if I play knight c3, then in some worlds, probably something like bishop takes c3 was possible. But now, don't I give something like knight g4 here? Maybe I don't. Let's play bishop e2. Another positional book. I love books by Boris Gulko, so it's like, what was the title? Training with Grandmaster? I don't remember. I have these books like on my shelf here. But it's been some time since I lastly looked at them. Let me Google it. What is the title? Lessons with a Grandmaster. Those are like 3 parts, and I hugely recommend them. And here I want to play h3 and f4. I don't like my knight on b3, and maybe I'm even running into some immediate problems after knight e5 and rook c8. But let's hope I'm going to be able to just keep everything together with queen e2, and now bishop takes a7. I think is more or less a threat. Okay, then he takes and plays b6, but then maybe queen a6. It looks risky, but maybe I will go for it. I don't know. f4, I think, is the biggest positional threat. I want to play f4, f5, and start attacking. Do you play sometimes with Hikaru? Yes, I would play with Hikaru, probably. If I would play on Chess.com, I don't play on Chess.com for like 8 months already. I played with Hikaru last year. No, you can speak about everything. I love to see interaction between users. Like, don't stop that. Okay, so this move I don't like for several reasons, and the biggest one is that I can play bishop b6 and then something on a5, probably the bishop. And the idea is that now I also threaten knight b6. So it's not even about winning a pawn, but about gaining some coordination. So the only piece that is really not working very well is my knight on b3. And my idea for this game now is going to be to try to reroute this this knight somewhere. I'm probably going to lose the pawn on a2 because he has exactly this move. And now the question is, how problematic is it? Because I can play bishop c3 and then maybe queen b5 and try to trap his queen. Why doesn't it work? It's something is really telling me that this shouldn't work, but I don't see anything concrete. So my opponent definitely has some compensation here. The idea is to go queen b5 now. This was my plan, so I'm going for it. And now rook a1 is a threat. And suddenly the knight on a3 on b3 is not that bad. Actually now I think I can go for this and knight c6 next. Maybe there is knight d3 here though, but then knight d3, even knight c6 is interesting. And now definitely, maybe not immediately. Maybe I can do this immediately. Let's calculate it. So knight c6 takes on g7, takes on c1, takes. This looks great for me. But takes on g7. Does he have anything else? No, I don't think so. Let's go for it. So takes, and he has to take on g7 because now two pieces are hanging. If the rook wouldn't be hanging, maybe he would have something like knight b4 here. But this move is now really forced. But actually, why did I think that this is so great for me? I have to take with the pawn now. Maybe this is good. And how can he get his king close to the pawn? So one way is to go through f8 and c7. It takes like 5 tempi. So I should play f4 and bring the king to d4 as fast as possible. And this position is pretty double-edged. I think rook c7 is a waste of a move. You should put the king on c7 because I don't think there is any other good way of getting your king into the queen side. And now I want to play king e3. So those exchanges, I think, would kind of help me. But now the question is, how do I get my king into the queen side? And it's not that easy. Let's go b4. And now he's going to play d5. Actually, I have misplayed it pretty badly. So let's go for this. Okay, and this is really bad. That's a big problem now. That's actually a huge problem. Okay, king d4, rook c5. Guess I kind of survived. But I'm not happy with this game. I think I can even do this one. And now, amazingly, I'm a pawn up. Okay, this pawn endgame should be easily winning, but I'm definitely not happy with the level of my play in this game. Okay, h4, king e4, and I queen the pawn. Yep. Let's go. Let me firstly check if there are any challenges from non-premium members. I'm already going to decline them so I don't make a mistake. Why must I lose to this box is next. Let's go, black pieces. And very good game, Mr. Zevich. I was extremely lucky. So maybe let's play g6. Let's play some g6 today. And after knight f3, I'm going to go back to some Pierce, modern, maybe even King Indian if he goes c4. E6. Let's try to go for a hippo. So normally I don't do this with the black pieces, but with this move bishop c4, I think it's possible. Of course, white is going to be better like everywhere, but that's not the point of this opening. I don't really care if I'm worse or not. I should play h6 before I did this. This is really careless. This is really careless. Now bishop h6, I have c5, so I think it's rather premature. But it's interesting to play a4 here for him. a4, I probably go bishop b7, because then if he takes twice on b5, I have bishop takes e4. Here I want to play knight d7 first. The idea is that I want to get c5 in, and then if I get c5 in, he should go with something like c3 probably. Takes, and here I think c3. This I don't like. This should rather benefit me, I guess, because now I take with the pawn and I go queen c7 next. How do I do this? What's the move order here? Do I want to exchange queens? Why not? I'm an old man already. But no, I don't like this now. Yeah, especially after this move. This is exactly what I have missed. Because now he threatens queen e5, and I really dislike it now. Because I have to do something like this, and rook d1 is coming. Then something on d6 is going to jump, and I have to work to equalize here, I think. So queen e7 here as planned. Bishop b7, rook d8. If I manage to play those two moves, I think I'm kind of fine. Okay, bishop b7, rook d8 next. Rook d8 is next, and he's attacking. He's attacking. What a guy. I'm here to have some nice time, and you're attacking. How are you even allowed to do it? Let's go h6. Let's go h6. And if he plays h5, I'm going to play g5. But this is like one of the most important themes in the whole hypo. G5 now. So queen e3 now, and I have several options here. None of them looks great, but maybe let's go for this one. So knight a5. The idea is to play knight c4 next. So let's go. Those squares on d3 and t4 are protected. If not, if they wouldn't be protected, I would be in huge trouble. But after this move, I can consider rounding this guy on e5. Actually, why can't I do this? This looks great for me, right? Maybe this is what my opponent missed, and this is also what I missed when going for this line. I just didn't see I can do that. And actually, I think that it's not even the start of my opponent's problems, because now after queen b7, this is like, I think this is a nice geometrical motive where I threaten knight h4, queen g2 mate. And actually, how are you going to defend against that? Suddenly, my two active pieces are doing great job here. And now the question is, how do I continue? Because if I go near knight h4, then he has f3. So maybe let's go for this one. Yeah, let's go for this one. This might be a little provocative. Because if he takes with the rook, then after knight h4, he doesn't have f3. So yeah, he plays the right move. And now I'm regretting going for this cheapo. I'm a little. Going for cheapos is a good thing in Blitz. He has to go f3, I guess. Because otherwise I go queen g2 or queen f3, so this is like the only move. And now queen c7, pinning the pawn, preparing rook d8. So yeah, this is a good position for me. Knight c4 is coming. Whoa, just don't blunder mate. Don't blunder mate on h7. Okay, it wouldn't be a mate, but why do I even allow that? So rook d8 now. Rook d8. And this should be a very good position for me, especially after... Do I go knight c4 or knight d5? Yeah, knight c4, stopping queen e5 and preparing knight to e3. Let's go. And I threaten to take the rook now. And yeah, after he goes king h3, I can safely grab this one, because after he takes, I'm not even recapturing. I'm probably going to go king h8, I guess. And queen h2 is threatened. Queen h2, queen h4. And now I think we can end the game like this. Very nice fighting game. Why must I lose to this box? And now I have the challenge from Mr. Anam, but it's 3+2, so I have to decline it. I'm sorry. Only no increment games, and really Chess24 is now okay. It's working. Oops, Kitty. 5-minute game. 21-49 player. Let's go. And we are waiting for the move. Yeah, king g4 trying to do the short, right? Kamil sporting the antlers. I don't know what antlers mean. Okay, so we have some lesson for today. What is antler? Oh yes, now I know what it is. Yeah. So I saw that Anna Rudolph is very active on Chess24. I wanted to be another Rudolph in December on this site. Yes, this was a very enjoyable game. I agree. And now we are going to play the closed Sicilian. I could do this for a few, using a few different setups, but I'm going to go for this one. And now what I want to see from my opponent is to see where he's going to put the knight, because if I'm not mistaken, from my Chessable course on the anti-Sicilians, I recommended to always wait for white to commit his knight before committing our knight. And if I'm not mistaken, we should do the opposite. So if our opponent puts it on e2, we should do it on we should put our knight on f6. If on f3, on e7. Yeah, let's grab some space. This shouldn't hurt. Let's go e6. And now my idea is to play knight e7. If knight c4, I have d5. If c3, I'm not touching that. At least not yet. And if d4, I have bishop a6 or something like that. Okay, I hope this works well. I said I'm going to play bishop a6, so let's be a man of my word. So the idea is that if he grabs on c5, I take on e2 and take on c3. Yeah, so we go bishop a6. And actually, his center is kind of under pressure now. The only problem is that this pawn on c5 might be annoying in some lines. And also he has a pair of bishops, but at the moment this bishop on g2 is not too active. Yeah. That's good to hear. But if you want some talent doing blitzes, then why do you invite me? This is an annoying move to face. I have to. Oh, this is a 5-minute game. I have to remember because I started blitzing too much. Okay. The first rule of blitz: whenever you see a trap, go for it. The trap is. I will not say what is the trap. He didn't fall for it. Actually, I fell for some trap because I lost the pawn. So the idea was that if he plays knight d6, I have c takes b2, rook takes b2, knight f3, and I pick the queen. And actually now I really regret going for it because I just blundered the pawn. And the pawn on c5, as I mentioned, is problematic. Bishop f4 is probably coming also. So if he manages to play bishop f4 and bishop d6, I should be in some trouble. Maybe I'm already in trouble. Why am I doing this to myself? Why am I doing this to myself? I always ask this question and I never get an answer. Knight c6, knight e5 maybe. So yeah, now there is a decision. Either I want to play knight e5 or bishop e5. I think I have to do it this way, but then he can even take play f4 e5. And I never ever get any square here. Maybe I cannot even put anything on e5, which is problematic. Bishop e5, again a tempo on the queen. If he takes, maybe this kind of works, but I would evaluate this position as much better for white. Maybe not even because of the pawn, but because of the potential that he has in this position. So f4, e5, like put the rooks on d1 and b1 and crush me deservedly. This I'm not sure about because, okay, in the worst case scenario, I can just take on f4 here and ruin his pawn structure. Actually, if I take and play queen h4, how bad is that for me? Let's go for it. Let's go for it. I have to do something here, because the idea is that now, okay, I lose the pawn on d7, but this pawn is a weak pawn. I don't really need this pawn that much, and the idea is that now he cannot play this move because of knight takes e5. This is at least what I thought, and yeah, now I think I have a good position. Now I think I have a good position. So queen d4 looks like the only move here, because firstly we will protect the pawn on f4, And secondly, you protect f2, because now knight g4 doesn't make any sense. Actually, I think I can take on f4 now. And I kind of managed to trick my opponent here. Okay, I will lose the guy on d7. I guess I will lose it. And then the pawn on c5 is going to be pretty dangerous. But on the other hand, I managed to kind of make some mess out of this position. How do I do it? Queen f6, rook e1, I dislike this. So that's why I'm going to play queen f5. And there is one specific idea I have behind this move. Because if he goes rook e1, I want to play rook b1. And bishop e4 is not a problem because I will take with check. So rook b1, if he takes on e5, I take his queen. So this is the idea. And now if he takes here and plays rook d1, I just go back. And I hoped still to be able to survive this a little, because if I exchange a pair of rooks, then he will not be able to have one rook on d1 and one rook on e1. But why? Because if I wouldn't be able to take this pawn, and if this pawn would advance to c6 or something, then I would believe this is a decent try. But I don't think it is good for my opponent. Now the question is if I want to take on c3 and give up this pawn on a7. I think I don't, because this pawn on a7, I need it. I don't want to give my opponent the passed pawn on a2. If my opponent is going to be able to do that, then at least I'm not going to give it for free. And also now the pawn on c3 is hanging. So that's why I think that this move a5 is pretty nice. So queen takes c3, but can I do it like this? Oh Jesus, this is a lot of calculating here. Okay, let's not go there. Let's not go there. I just can do it easier, I think. No idea what my opponent's idea here is. Now, can I win stuff with check here? Let's not blunder my queen. That would be embarrassing. I think rook c8 is pretty clean here. Because if he takes on f7, okay, I just take on f7 with everything and I win this endgame. And now the problem for my opponent is that he has to move his bishop. Because protecting this bishop in any way is going to result in losing a rook. If rook c7, I take queen f1, queen f4. If rook d6, I take and queen f3. So in all cases, I think I'm winning here. Yep. Thanks for the game. A bad start to this game, I have to admit, but fortunately I managed to trick my opponent. And now a game against Mr. Beer Baron. I hope I'm not mispronouncing it. This antlers must be connected to Deep Blue. Don't you know that Deep Blue is not active for like, I don't know, 23 years, 22 years? They are connected to AlphaZero, of course. Mr. Demis Hassabis himself gave me instructions here. Does just 24 rating matter? It really depends. How do you approach it? Okay, here I think c4 just win the bishop. Yeah, because as people on chat say, depends. If you just compare my rating with like Duda's rating, or some players who played like 20 games or are 300 points rated below me, then you have to think that this rating really doesn't matter. But this is not because they are like playing badly, but this is because that they didn't play too many games, right? So h6 here. Bishop e3, I can just castle. I'm a piece up. I'm going to play d5, knight g4, and I think I should be able to convert this. Queen b6. Maybe I shouldn't do that because now he has some rolling pawns in the center. Let's play it in the most standard, like the simplest way possible. So let's not give my opponent anything. Said Kamil, who just gave his opponent a center. FM bigger than I am. I don't know. If you just think about from the numbers of calories that I eat every day and some IMs are doing, then probably I'm better than most GMs. But in chess related, if we speak in chess terms, then FM has to be worse than I am. It also depends which FM, which I am, but usually you have to wonder that Unfortunately, IMs are better than FMs. So bishop takes e5. Now I threaten to take this knight. And yeah, this position I really like. And I'm not going to exchange queens. Checkmate is the goal of this game. If my opponent wants to exchange queens, then I would like him to play queen g4 to at least spoil his pawn structure. Bishop takes f4 followed by queen takes g2 is a threat. So now let's go bishop e4, threaten to take on b2. I hope I'm not missing anything simple here. This I'm going to take, this I'm going to take, and I guess this I'm going to take. So I am a full rook up here. I wanted to play rook f to e8 to just play for the public, but then I would lose lose a rook because of queen e8 check. And this one I'm also going to take. Yeah, thanks for the game. Let's proceed. Mr. Dangerous Right. If I'm not mistaken, we have already played against each other. Need some help. I have your d4 course, but it's been sitting for ages now. How do I actually finish or go for the fraud course or any chessable course for that matter? Work hard. There's no other way. And the Budapest Gambit, why not? Let's go for it. And do I recommend a d5 here, or did I recommend castling? Castling looks nicer, although probably I recommend d5. Let's go d5 now. And okay, my opponent already has some questions to answer. Actually, why can't I go with this one? And now knight e4. But the point is that now bishop d2 is not possible. And what now? What do I do now? Maybe I go bishop f5. Oh, this looks nice because of this move. I didn't see it in the beginning, but now when I see it, it looks crushing. Because he has to take on e4. There's no other way. Bishop takes c4, there's knight g3. And I pick a rook, at least. Let's take with the bishop. Why not? And now I have even this option of taking on f3, but actually after bishop d3, I stop my opponent from castling, at least for the moment. And you know what I want to do? I just want to take it. I just want to take it so bad. But this is... Sorry, guys. I'm probably going to regret it, but I just can't help myself. I just don't want my opponent to untangle. I want those bishops to just stand here and show no mercy. This was just, you know, I just couldn't help myself. Yeah, if you play too fast, you blunder. If you play too slow, they flag us. That's exactly what everybody feels while facing higher rated opponents online. I know what white should do in this position. Oh, this is definitely not what white should do here. I think that queen d2 and castling long was the best try. Because, okay, now I think about taking on e5, but I believe that knight d4 might be even stronger, because the idea is that knight c2 is a threat here. And, okay, maybe he has rook c1. I just didn't... Okay, no, rook c1, I have knight e2. This is pretty nice. So if he takes, I take on d4, and actually now without the dark squared bishop, that should be a problem. This move I didn't see. This is a nice move. Knight c2. I believe white should sacrifice the exchange here, because if I take this guy on e3, this is going to be a long suffering on the dark squares. And actually, I see a forced mate here. Because after bishop c5, king f4, I have queen h4. Oh, I'm going to give g5 mate? Really? Is it going to happen? Is there something nicer here? Nah, let's go for it. Oh, this game I'm happy about. This game I'm happy about. So now, Mr. Earl Hines. So e4, what do we want to do? We played Sicilian, we played g6, let's go for e5 now. f4, we played the King's Gambit, right? Okay, let's play something non-standard here. Yeah, this is a good move, I think. And what now? This is the end of theory for me. You know what? Maybe d5 is a move, but it looks extremely dangerous. Another way. I just another game where I just can't help myself. I see this move, I have to play it. Let's pre-move this one. There are so many ways to lose. I have made a career of exploring them all. I think this should be my quote on Twitter. I should just put it on Twitter, and you know, like 90% of chess players, I think, should be able to identify with this motto. So I just heard that Kamil hasn't lost a game yet. He's killing it today. Yeah, I didn't lose a game today, and if I'm not mistaken, I didn't lose a game for the last Banter Blitzes I have done. So I don't want to get cocky here. Probably I just did, but yeah, there is a scalp to be taken here. So the problem with this position is that I can't take on c3, and this is actually a big problem. Oh, whoa. Why do I do this to myself? Why do I do it to myself? I can't take on c3 because then bishop takes, I can't move the e-pawn because of bishop takes g7. This might be this game. This might be this game. I have to go this one, I think. Go for this one. And if knight b5, I have to take and go queen e7. Maybe I can have to go queen e7 immediately. Maybe this is just better. But I hate this position. I completely hate this position. Yeah. But maybe now I have knight d2 and knight d4 and I cannot kind of survive. No, knight d4 I have to give a pawn. Maybe I can do this. Because I really like to exchange queens here. I want to exchange queens. I don't care if I get a worse endgame or anything. What I want to do is to avoid getting mated. This is like my rule number 1 in Blitz. Get a safe king, unless it means that you have to do something crazy. And okay, this pawn on f4, I just can't defend it, so let's go for this one. Maybe I gave him knight g5 now. I shouldn't do it. I should go h6. Exactly. Why am I so stupid? Rook e8. Hope to survive this. Knight d8 if I have to. My pieces are screaming. Yeah, thanks for the game. Why must I lose to these books? Yes, Naka MVL today. Don't forget to see that. That's pretty funny because like a ton of people were asking Hikaru how does he think he's going to do against Magnus in the final while he's not playing against Magnus. So that's pretty funny. And knight d4 with a threat, bishop takes c3, knight takes e2. I think you shouldn't do this. I think you should at least take my bishop on e6. Do I take it now? Yes, I do. I do take it now. Pawn takes should be played. And this maybe is also a move, but it should ease my task a little, because now I have free development and a pair of bishops. So the idea is that now I will play knight h5, and I'm actually going to say that this was the last chance for you to take this pawn, and now I'm not going to give you this. Bishop a5, if my opponent wants to weaken his queen side and play b4, then I'm going to play bishop b6. But now bishop d7, bishop b6, I think I'm doing very well here, especially on time. Because if knight d5, I just take on d2, maybe even go king d8. And now I also have options connected with some bishop f2, bishop e3. My opponent wants to take on f4. As I've mentioned, the last chance to do that is probably gone. So here, king d8, I don't see a good continuation here. So let's maybe exchange all rooks. And now go king f7, stopping any knight f6 ideas. Oh, come on. I want to take this. And now bishop e3, let's not get my bishop trapped, bishop c6, and that's all she wrote. So let's proceed with little Gary. I hope it's not this Gary that I think about. Gary Neville, of course. The Caro-Kann. Let's exchange. Old people like to exchange. You see, those jokes about getting old, they're not jokes. Magnus is like 30 for how much? How much time? 2 weeks, and he didn't win a tournament, losing two of them. So c takes d5 and queen b3. And this is some theory which I don't remember. I remember one line here. And this is not supposed to be good, right? Because of bishop c4. Is this position? I think so. So the idea is I want to take on f7. Now I want to take on c3. And by playing bishop c4 first, I kind of gained a tempo for development. Maybe I had queen takes b7 also. Why didn't I even consider that? But now maybe bishop f4 works. And bishop f4 takes, queen takes b7, queen e4, king f1. One more time. Bishop f4 takes on b7, queen e4, king f1. Is anything here? The knight is pinned, the knight can't move, but now the rook can move, and I'm a piece down. Come on. What am I even calculating here? This position maybe is not that good for me already. Maybe I should think a little longer about the move that I spoke about. Okay, getting checkmated is not great, but losing on time is not great either. So let's go for this one, allow him to take. Even I'm going to sacrifice a pawn, but I just want a peaceful life. But now bishop f4 should work, because it just should work. If he takes queen b7, and now there is no way to protect the rook and the knight at the same time, because there is no queen e4 check. So this is the big difference, in my opinion. And also, if my opponent wants to play bishop d6, now he wastes 2 tempi for that. So actually, taking on f3, I think, was mandatory. Taking on f3, bishop d6, and the position would be very good for black. But here I think I can maybe ask some questions. Yeah, castling. And what now? Do I go d5 here? And my pawn structure would be pretty bad, but actually what matters most is the activity of the pieces. And I want to play rook b1 for one specific reason. I think I threaten? No, I don't threaten. I have been tricked by Mr. Little Gary. And that's not nice. I wanted to provoke b6 and then go d5, because then takes and the rook is gone. And here black's position is very comfortable. There is no way that black should be ever worse here. If I manage to remaneuver my bishop to f3, it should be pretty nice. So let's do this. My opponent should play bishop e4 here. Whoa, that's a nice game, my friend. That's a nice game. Do I play a5 here? Yeah, why not? And actually, queen c6 is irritating. Queen c6 is rather irritating here, because I have to go f3. Okay, let's maybe finish development with rook f to d1. Maybe let's go c4. There are so many options here, and so little time to think about them. And now with queen d5, I have to take. So let's go c4, stop this queen d5 idea. And I'm going to claim that, okay, at least I have some center here. Maybe I will play queen g3. Now I have this option of playing bishop f3, so let's go there. Actually, there's no way to protect b7, so this should be pretty good for me. How do I do this? Bishop takes b7 actually loses, so let's take with the queen. And I hope I'm not blundering any of those pawns in the center, because if one of them falls, then this position might be problematic for me. Maybe I take with the f pawn. No, that would be ridiculous. Take to the center. Thanks, Karl Nering. See you next time. And this I think is very good for me, because I have c5, c6, c7. There's no way to stop that. You have to sacrifice the exchange, but then rook c8, rook c7. This I can take. I think this is even stronger, because there's no way to protect c7, c8. That's why it was extremely important to have this bishop on e4. Thank you, Gary, for the game. And now unrated game 3+2. I have to decline. Sorry for that. Sergey Rachmaninov. Let's go. 27-61. So a very serious game, I guess. Why was bishop taking bad? Because of rook b8. And then there is a pin on my bishop, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, let's copy my opponent's moves. And now let's stop copying my opponent's moves. e5 takes. I guess bishop e3. Oh, okay, this one. I thought this is unplayable. Are you even able to do that? I always thought bishop a3 if you take. Because if now knight g5, I have bishop f5. And if this one, then I'm not sure if this is what white wants. After a6, he wants to play c4. And if I go c5, he's going to play knight b5. So what's the correct way here? Yeah, let's try this. Let's try this one. I can also play something like e3, but then I am opening up his bishop, so I don't want to do that. I think c4 is a must here. Okay, let's just play rook e8. So the idea is that if my opponent plays knight c3, then I'm considering some knight g4 jumps. And here, I just want to play knight c6 first. Yeah, knight c6. I like it. h5, h4 is a long-term plan that I want to go for, but I just want to develop some pieces before I commit to something like this. So yeah, queen c1 with the idea of rook d1, of course. Then I go queen e7, bishop a3, I go queen e5. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. I'm sure that it's not great, but it's Blitz. I think in Blitz you can do anything. It looks shaky, I have to admit, because of this one. And what now? Should we sacrifice a pawn by playing knight e5? Yeah, we should sacrifice a pawn. I mean, okay, we live to sacrifice pieces in chess, right? Pieces, pawns, kings, our souls. For that last probably is the most common. So he takes it, and this was my idea. I just wanted to play like this. Maybe I'll provoke some weakness here. But actually now this bishop takes away the square from my knight. So I'm not that sure about this one. Okay, the last piece to the action. I'm a clear pawn down, I guess. But I'm half minute in 3-minute game is an excellent compensation for one pawn. Okay, so rook b1. I guess my opponent doesn't have a clear plan. That's exactly the case with me here. So let's now drop the bishop back and play knight g4. I admit that this was a stupid move. So here queen f6 or queen f6, right? Okay, now I take knight g4, and this has to be some compensation, right? f2 is hanging, d4 in some cases might be hanging. Maybe this is also a move. Why not? Wait, can you do this? I don't think you can. And suddenly all of my pieces work perfectly here. And here the worst case scenario, I can just take on d4. The only thing I have to calculate is if bishop b2 works. Takes, bishop b2, queen d3. Yeah, this should work well. Should be okay. There's bishop c5. This I didn't see, but in the worst case scenario, I can do this, take on f3. Oh, I can't do this. Oh, I have been tricked. Oh, maybe I didn't, because I'm checkmating first, right? Queen b2, queen g2. I'm first. I'm first to deliver this funny mate. Okay, queen f1 is the only move. Thanks for the game. This was a very tense game. I don't think I had control over it at any moment. Mr. Teja Ravi 2. Let's go. e4. Yes, we have to sacrifice our souls to be good in chess. Wait. Come on. Didn't the Satan visit you with the paper, the Zerograph, I think it's called, to just sell your soul for like 200 elo points? You know, I'm bad at negotiations. People told me that they got like 400 points for selling their souls. I got only 200. So we have the Scandinavian, which I never knew how to play with the white pieces, but because this is a Banter Blitz, I just can't play d3 on move number 2, because then you would just, this would be like probably my last session. This, can I go d5 here? Maybe I have to go d5. And also, you know, this Rudolph thing I have in my head, I also had some clothes prepared to wear today, but actually they are probably, it's probably a little bit too small for me. I tried to fit in, but when my foot decided that it doesn't want to fit, I decided, okay, I'm not checking this again. So yeah, I also had some clothes that I got from Chessable, but those bastards sent me like the L size, and I can just fit my t-shirt on my leg, so I also decided not to go there. So now, going back to the game, my opponent has a choice. He can play knight e5, because after knight takes, queen takes, there is a pin, and also he can take on f3, bishop f3, and then go knight e5. In both cases, I think I'm going to be able to castle and make it harder for him to play c6 or e6. So I castle next. I also got this guy who is helping me. He's 2700, so, you know, I'm not playing alone. And this is a big concession if you want to go there. Let's castle first. That's probably the right way to do. And now this is like the critical moment for the game, because I feel like queen d4 is a good move here, although it requires some precise calculation. Because if queen d4, he has c5, and I have to go back and I don't get bishop f4 in, then I have been tricked a lot here. I see one variation that I have to go for it. Once again, Once again, this is the position where I just can't help myself and I have to go for it. Okay, it takes on f3, so I have to retake. There's no other way. And now either e5 or c5 is possible because I cannot take because my queen is pinned. But I hope that a move such as queen a4 is going to be a day saver for me. I just don't want to go back with my queen. And now what do we do? Maybe this is a move. Stopping bishop c5, preparing bishop g5, then takes knight e4, c4, c5, something like this. I already forget about attacking plans on my opponent's king because they rather don't seem to be realistic. But on the other hand, this positional plan of playing bishop g5 takes knight e4, this looks very nice. And that's the problem with this move bishop d6, because now the knight has to do something. This I want to take, right? Do I have a choice? I have queen a4, queen h4 maybe, something like this. No, I want to take this. And if after I take this, maybe I have queen a4. This is annoying. If he, okay, he takes with the pawn. Once again, I might have queen a4 here. On the other hand, he has maybe some attacking ideas on the king side. Although after queen a4, okay, after queen a4, he's going to play king e7, and I think that this king is pretty nice on e7. So let's stop thinking about this plan and go knight e4. The idea is to go c4, c5. In the worst case scenario, I can always take this bishop, which I don't want to do because my bishop on f3 is potentially bad. After rook g8, I'm going to go either king h1 or knight g3. Oh, that's not pre-move. Or knight g3. No, it's not a talisman with king +5 on king's safety. It's actually -3 on common sense, I guess, after the moves that I'm going for today. But okay, the games are pretty decent, I guess. The problem with his position is the knight on a7. It cannot really move. It has to go to c8, but now c5 is a large threat. So this is the problem of king e7. I guess that the only way here is to go for b6, after which I'm not even going to take on a6, because then knight c6, knight d4, and my opponent has tremendous compensation here, and maybe it's even better / winning. So after b6, I'm going to play either queen d2, covering some squares, or queen a4, still looking at the queen side. But yeah, queen d2 I really like, because okay, queen a6, knight c6 once again is out of the question. I can't do it, and here just king h1, right? Then my opponent is going to double the rooks. I'm going to go before c5, and we are going to have a mess. A normal day, I guess. Knight g3 is always a move. If I have to put the knight on g3, I'm not that unhappy about that. I think my opponent should play a5 here, because if I get this move, then c5 is really a threat here. And even if you play rook g8, I go c5, there's no threat for black, because either queen f3 or bishop or rook g2 don't work. The Beach Boys, yes, in the jungle. The mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. But don't make me sing, please. This is, of course, I'm referring to what Chess24 chat is saying. And this one should be losing, right? For a few reasons. D takes c6 is possible, but then rook d8. Knight takes d6, king takes d takes c6 is probably best, but then king c7. I have rook d1, I will be able to exchange queens, then this is a boring way to win the game. There's also take on d6 and c5, which looks pretty nice. Like, there are a ton of options here. There's also c5 immediately. Then, yeah, this has to be the best, right? Because if I manage to do this, and my opponent is connected, I hope it's not a rage quit. Then bishop moves somewhere. Let's say, okay, he takes and the bishop moves to b8. Then I go d6 even. If I don't checkmate him, the bishop is never going back. The bishop is never getting out of this cage. So this is probably the most interesting way to go forward. Might even be the best one. But unfortunately, my opponent disconnected. Father Christmas, right? Yep, thanks for the game. Unfortunately, this disconnect spoiled a little. Once again, I'm declining 3+2. It's only 3+0, 5+0, preferable 3+0. And now I almost accepted the non-premium challenge. Dangerous Right already had a game. Now Mr. Color Complex, 3-minute game. Let's go. The black pieces, the Alekhine in the photo, so yeah, the irony here. Let's go with the Alekhine against the Alekhine. What wrong can be with this approach? It's like, when Najdorf faced Fischer, and it was the years where the Najdorf opening was created. The Najdorf said, okay, you don't play the Najdorf against Fischer. It's too risky. So if he couldn't play the Najdorf against Fischer, being the Najdorf, and I'm playing the Alekhine against the Alekhine, I think it's ironic. And here maybe d5 and knight c4, but then queen b3. Playable, but I don't like this. Let's go knight c6. Knight c6. And okay, now d5 looks very appealing to me. Because now if c5, I have knight c4, and my opponent doesn't have this option of playing queen b3, because then I attack his bishop. So he's kind of forced to take, and okay, I gave him d5, but then knight e5, and I have a pair of bishops. Bishop d3 is going to be a move probably. Do I have something smart here? I don't think so. So let's go for this. Take with the bishop, bishop d3 next, and I have a pair of bishops, so the bishop on e5, queen f6, bishop d3. The only problem is that he has this pawn majority here on the queen side, but this majority is not supported by any of my opponent's pieces, so I'm not that afraid of that. But now I think that knight d3 is hugely problematic for white, because I threaten to take on b2, I threaten to take on c3 after the bishop moves. There is no good way of defending this, I guess. He has to take here and go queen d2, something like that. This is like the only way. But then, whoa, this is not working. This doesn't work. And this doesn't work either. So the Alekhine against the Alekhine went pretty well, I guess. A Spirit Tapper, 5-minute game. 1509 opponent from United States of America. Let's go for e4. I like to play e4 today. I don't know why. Devil horns on my head. I had devil horns on my head. You should see my promo video for the last Chessable course. Actually, those guys from Chessable told me to dress as a devil and angel, and then record some promo stuff. I have devil horns, and this game is going to be aborted because my opponent is not here. So Bishow 2327 premium member, and once again I'm declining offers from non-premium members. Macedonia, right? Yep. Bishow 23 from Macedonia, playing e4. I played the Alekhine, g6, e5, c5. What haven't I played today? Let's play another version of the Sicilian, because I played the g6, some close stuff. Maybe let's go for the 4 knights. In some sources called also as the 4 horsemen of the Sicilian. Knight e4, I guess. Bishop b7. This is like my favorite line here. And many people here make one very common mistake, to go c4 and then continue it incorrectly. Let's see if it's going to happen exactly. This is like one of the most common mistakes that people make in this opening. So the problem is that now the knight is taboo because I take on a1. And after bishop d2, I have queen takes e5. And I'm more or less a safe pawn up here. So f3 is a move here. there's nothing else. If queen a2, knight c2, if bishop d3, I take. If queen b1, okay, maybe queen b1 is a move, but then I get c5. So this is an improvement for me for sure, because the knight can go to c6. Okay, and my opponent is doing it like this. I mean, it's possible, but I think after c5, my position is just great here. Castling is not recommended now because of queen g2. And I guess f3 is kind of forced, but then I might have queen d4, or maybe I have queen h4 first. This is pretty tricky, I think. Okay, and my opponent's doing it like this even. Okay, what's the threat? Can I take this guy and go bishop c5? What's the problem with this? Maybe if I take, he has bishop e3, but okay, he has bishop e3 anyway. So yeah, let's take. Let's take this guy. And now my idea is to just go bishop e7. Is there a trick? I don't think so. And now I want to reroute my queen to f6, maybe to f4. Okay, where? Where? You have time, you don't have to. Spend like 3 seconds on a move. Because queen f6 allows bishop d4, I don't want that. And I don't want to play e5, I want to keep my pawn where it is. So that's why I'm going to play queen h6. And now the idea is that if he's going to take on a7, which he should do at some point, I'm going to play bishop c6, protecting this pawn on d7 and castle kingside, claiming that I'm going to be a safe pawn up. Now I don't even have to do this because d7 is not attacked. I'm sacrificing this pawn on a7. I don't really care about him. So bishop c6, this is a safe way to play. Maybe a5, a4 now. With this queen on c2 and rook on d1, I think a4 is a big threat, because if white takes, I have bishop takes. And yeah, black should be winning here. 2 pawns up, better king, better pawn structure. And after bishop d4, I don't see a threat, so I go forward. A takes b3 now is threatened. And this is a very problematic position for my opponent. Maybe I can just do this and play the other rook to a8. I don't even have to defend this guy. So let's sacrifice this pawn, but now get a nice control over the a file. And okay, so my opponent wants to exchange queens, being 2 pawns down, which should say that his position is pretty bad. I mean, I can exchange queens and play something like rook c2, rook a2. This should be pretty good. But on the other hand, I think there should be something stronger here. Yeah, let's play bishop g5. I don't want to exchange queens so early. And now bishop f6. This was my idea. And now with queen e3 back, I at least improved my bishop. So I can take on e3, or I can take on d4. Okay, let's keep it simple now. With the bishop on f6, I think that this is a nice improvement for me. And after rook c2, rook a2, this is going to be very hard for white to defend. So rook d2 is like, I guess, the only move. This one drops the bishop. So thanks for the game. And now we are going to play against Mr. Alekhine Battery from Chess24. Keeping the chat busy, making sure everything works, and now trying to go for my scalp. Let's play the Fire-Ovich, which is definitely unplayable, but when you play a Banter Blitz session, you can have some fun, right? Why is a reindeer playing chess? What the heck? Where? I didn't see him. Oh, I just noted that I didn't check out the Chess24 chat because I kind of spoiled the scrolling. No problem. You moved and got switched off. And okay, this position I think is already good for me because of this trick. And the Fire of Witch is all about tricks. So I go knight d4. The idea is that the bishop cannot be touched because of knight c2, and after this one I have knight takes c3, and none of my pieces can be like touched here because of this one, exactly. And here I'm just taking the rook. No mercy. I might lose another chance to give Banter Blitz on chess 24, but no mercy. You know, in Poland we have this saying that I think I even can't say on air. So I will not do that. Maybe I shouldn't even start this topic because now everybody is going to be, please, please. We are not going to tell anybody. Tell us. I think I can't do it. Okay, let's grab this guy, or maybe there is something better. Let's take this. Yeah, maybe Kamil was scared and cheated. That's like the story of everyday chess here. d6, bishop d7, bishop c6, or maybe I can even go b5. Don't forget that my opponent cannot castle here because the king has already moved. Now I have this trick, and I take the other rook. Okay, I'm going to say it nice as possible. So in Poland we say, if you have a soft heart, you have to have a hard butt. Because usually it's like in life, when you have soft heart, if you are kind to people, then you get the opposite, right? So this is what you say in Poland. And now we are going to play against Mr. Altan Kansu from Turkey. The black pieces, maybe let's go for the Scandinavian with knight f6, the so-called Portuguese variation. 2 years in a row I was playing the Lisbon Open in Portugal. The next year, so in January, February, if I'm not mistaken, it's not going to be held this year due to the COVID stuff, unfortunately. So at least let's play the Portuguese variation. And e5 is probably not a move, but let's have some fun. Let's take, and here the line that I really like is bishop b4, because and what is the problem with his position? That now after bishop d6, this bishop would really like to be like on e3, not on b2. The bishop is now kind of deactivated. Let's go for b6, bishop b7. I'm not afraid of bishop e4 because of rook e8. Now I'm going to play bishop b7. If ever queen c2 is going to happen, I could consider even taking on f3. I can just give up this guy on h7. And what my opponent should do here is to go for some c4, d5 ideas. Oh, this is a 5-minute game. No rush needed. I have a feeling that I should not take it, but I will. Because now I have queen g5, right? With a double attack. So now the thing is that I can take on e5. I can also play rook d8, which is interesting. Because bishop h7 is not working, because after king h7 I protect the rook. And I threaten queen e3, and this is exactly the point. This is not working. So this was a little trap that my opponent fell into. And now I think I have just queen g6. I can retake with the king, go knight c6, and life is good. I threaten to take this guy. And the other idea is that after he goes f4, which I think is going to be played, I'm going to have knight a5, knight c4, and my knight dominates the bishop. So even in a position like this, where you are, well, wait. Let's not get mated. Let's not get mated. Some f5 ideas are hanging in the air. So let's do this. Let's do this. And yeah, now just see it, this bishop. This bishop just cannot move. And actually, after I do this, and bishop c6, my opponent is going to be in some kind of Zugzwang very soon for his pieces. I could also play bishop e4. Oh, bishop e4 was very nice, I think. Because now the rook cannot move. He has to go something like a4. Maybe rook d3. And now actually after bishop g2, I think there's no way to prevent mate, so rook h3 is next. Okay, there is a way to go bishop e3 and rook h1, but as you can imagine, this only temporarily solves my opponent's problems. So a trick with bishop h7 spotted, but I had a counter trick, fortunately. Mr. Spirit Tapper is here again, so let's give it to him. d4, what do we do? Do we go knight f6 again? And do we go for the third Budapest Gambit today? Let's maybe play some King's Indian. Because if Banter Blitz without the King's Indian being played is a wasted Banter Blitz. That's rule number 7. And we have a classical variation. Let me get some water because I'm starting to lose my voice. And this is exactly the line that I was working on yesterday. Because I'm updating my kit course on Chessable. And this is the line that I was working on. Here you should go bishop g5 and bishop h4. Because this I'm going to take very, very gladly. Continue it with f5. And this dark square bishop at the moment, it doesn't look strong. But imagine this diagonal being opened. And now this pawn cannot be retaken because of rook takes f3. So this is like the King's Indian. This is how this opening works. Like you play 2 moves and suddenly there's a threat. If you don't spot it, you lose a piece like this. So now I can safely go back, play knight a6, knight c5. The only problem that might happen is white playing something like f3, bishop d3, queen h2, but this is too slow. Those are like 3 moves and I can respond with h6 to that. I could also take on f2, but I prefer to finish development first and only then play moves like this. So yeah, rook h2 with the idea of playing rook h1. This is a good plan. Let me do this trick. Maybe it's actually not that great for me. Why do I really complicate my life like this? Because bishop g5, f4, I thought rook f4, but then takes, rook h7, and I have no idea what this position is. I win the queen, but probably I also lose the queen. So I don't want to allow those complications. But yeah, I revealed that bishop g5 is my idea, and at this moment, bishop g5, f4, e takes f4, I think is a big threat. And with h7 being nicely protected, I'm definitely going for this. Bishop takes. If the queen or king moves, I have f3 winning another piece. So this is the big point of my play. If this wouldn't be a move, I would probably... Oh, maybe f takes g3 was winning even a better piece. I don't know. 3 is bigger than 5, as apparently in Poland. Okay, it doesn't matter. Let's not commentate on that. Let's just say that the bishop was better than rook in this position. So this is like a deep strategy. Hello, Buczu. Dzień dobry. Okay, so Mr. Tejaravi, and now the question. I played against you, but maybe the chat will help me with this one. Did my game against Mr. Tejaravi got aborted today? Because I don't remember. I'm sure I accepted the challenge, but I'm also pretty sure that the game... Okay, did I play against him or not? Please give me the answer, and in the meantime, I'm going to accept a challenge from some premium mysterious Norwegian called Sigvach. I hope it's not this Norwegian, or maybe I hope it is this Norwegian. Let's play for the Trompovsky. And now bishop d3. Do we go f4 here? Let's go. Knight f3. So this position that I get now is some kind of a reverse stone wall where I have the white pieces. I play the Dutch defense like with the colors reversed. But firstly, I got my bishop outside of the pawn chain, which is a good thing. This pawn chain c3, d4, e3, f4 is usually blocking the bishop from c1. Now the bishop is already developed, so this is a good thing. And now I can do this. I can just take the bishop. I can take this knight, or maybe I castle first, because if I take there would be queen h4. So that would be inaccurate, I think. And here I want to take this. So the thing is that he allows bishop g6, which I think shouldn't be allowed. And the problem with black's position is that after I play c4, either here or in one of the next moves, let's go immediately. When your opponent has the king and the 8 in a situation like this, you should open up the position as fast as possible. And I did it the wrong way, I guess, because I allowed him to take on e3. Okay, let's open up everything. I don't care about the material, I just want to open up the position. So the thing is, if knight takes e4, I have some rook f7 ideas, although I don't think I want to go there yet, because he has just something like queen e6, and I have been tricked. And that's why I'm going to play knight c3 here. And he can take on c3, play queen e3, and take my second pawn, but then I exchange some pieces that are actually protecting black's king. So yes, queen c3 is possible. I deliberately went into this variation. But you know what is the key here is that the black's king is really bad on d8, and what I want to do in the next moves is to use this against my opponent. So now my opponent probably wants to play king c7 and safeguard his king. Yep. Sorry? Okay, yes. So this probably is going to be the last game, I guess. How do I do this? Do I go rook f7? Because the problem is that my queen has no good square. Oh, my queen has good squares. But then, yeah, then king c7. I don't want to allow that, so I have to go for this. So yeah, rook f7. And if king c7, I have rook c1. No, it doesn't work. Oh, Jesus. If king c7, I have bishop f5. That's so lucky, I guess. No, king c7, maybe queen a4, then king b8, and there is a problem with the back rank. No, queen d7, rook c1, rook f1. Wait, this is just some strange tactic here. But yeah, imagine my opponent's king being like on b8 and the bishop on c6. His position would be definitely pretty good, but at the moment I think that there are problems here. And this is the move that I thought is saving the day for my opponent. I just didn't want to say it out loud. This one I didn't even see. This one I didn't even see, although I think I should have something here. Rook c1, let's not blunder rook c1. Queen e1, this one. Okay, let's sacrifice a piece here, because I think it works well for me. This is the idea, and this is the idea. I forgot about this shit. No. Oh, this moment had to appear, had to happen sooner or later, but this is so painful because I saw this idea, I saw this idea 5 moves ago and I completely forgot about it. Aye. Very good game by my opponent. He outplayed me. A ghost told me to end the stream. Exactly. It's like 3 minutes I have now, so there's definitely I will not be able to play another game. So to everybody who challenged me, got a game, good games, guys and girls. And to everybody who challenged me and didn't get a game, I hope to give you another chance in the future. The game is painful. It's like, we as players, we play like 20 games, we lose one and it hurts. And we win another 19. Okay. I would prefer the Banter Blitz to be like 80 minutes today instead of 90. But okay. At least I lost a game. It's like when you start the session, it's like maybe today I will win everything, and you have this feeling that maybe today you are going to do well. But from the next session, it's like I'm relieved. I already lost. I don't care anymore. So from one perspective, it's nice. Okay, thank you for being here, everybody who challenged, everybody who watched, everybody who subscribed on Twitch, because I even saw some people subbing. And yeah, I can't promise where is going to be the next one. I hope there is going to be the next one. And have a great Christmas. Have a great time. And I hope next year will be better than this one. Cheers.